Hi everybody, it's Julie. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be playing with some teeny tiny stamps, and these are from the latest holiday release by Hero Arts. Now, at first glance, you might think that little teeny tiny stamps, what are you going to do with them? But they're actually very versatile, and you can make a pretty big impact with them. You can use them to create random backgrounds by stamping them in a pattern. You can use them to fill or build shapes by compacting them very tightly together to fill a geometric shape. You can use them to accent large greetings, and you can also use them, like I'm going to today, to build a scene, and I'm actually going to build it on a full-size A2 card front. And these were inspired by monoline art illustrations, kind of like icons that are used for maps. And when I'd seen some of this monoline illustration work on Pinterest, I was like, oh my gosh, these maps are just cute and fun and whimsical. And it immediately brought to mind these little tiny icon type images by Hero Arts. So let's get started. Now, as scary as it might be to some of you, this is actually my comfort zone. I'm starting out with a blank white card. This is Nina Solar White. It's going to be a standard A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just using a Post-it note there to mask off the gutter crease of the card so that I actually focus on the front panel only as I'm planning my layout and creating the design. And one of the things that I often forget to do when I'm stamping a card is to remember where my greeting is going to go. So since this is a single layer card, it's kind of critical to know where that greeting is going to go. I decided to start with that first and then start building the rest of the design. So I've taken one of the tiny little iconic trees there from the set, and I'm going to start building my landscape here. And keep in mind, this is kind of inspired by those monoline illustrated maps that you see. So I'm just going to put little clusters of trees here, and it may seem random at first, but there is actually a method to my madness here as I'm stamping. And I'm actually using Memento Tuxedo black ink because I'm going to be coloring my images in with Copic markers here in a few minutes. So now that I've got my trees pretty much planned out, I'm going to take this little car. It is just the most stinking cute car, and it has a little tiny tree on top of it, like you went off to the tree farm and got your tree, and they're coming home, from their little outing there in the woods or at the tree farm. Now here's where that map effect starts to take place. I'm going to use a Copic multiliner. It's got a really nice fine tip. This is just your basic black here. And I'm going to draw a roadway. It's kind of an S-curve here. And I'm not going to draw both sides of the roadway. I'm just going to draw that single line, which is in keeping with that monoline type of illustration work. And then because I noticed that my trees, some of them did not get stamped very crisply, I'm just going to come in and touch them up very quickly. And because of that fine tip Copic multiliner pen, it has pigment ink in it. I don't have to worry when I start coloring in with my Copic markers that I'm going to smear anything. So now I'm going to start coloring in, and I'm not going to color in the way we traditionally would. I'm going to use my alcohol markers to just outline the left-hand edge of the tree. So I'm going to give them a nice green shade there. This is New Leaf, and it's a nice bright happy green, one of my favorites, and I thought it was suitable for the holidays and the type of effect I wanted on this card. I'm also going to highlight the tree, and I didn't actually completely fill the tree in on top of the car either. I am going to fill in the car with some coral red. This is a nice bright happy red. I think it's going to look very festive. So these are very traditional holiday colors, I know, but I just love the whole overall effect and charm of this particular card design. Before moving on to the final step, I'm actually going to crease my card with my Teflon bone folder, make sure it's nice and crisply folded there, and I'm going to grab some stickles. You always do stickles last, right? So you don't ruin your project. I've learned that the hard way a time or two. But anyway, I've got my lime green stickles here, and I'm going to go ahead and accent the tree by spreading that across the top. And then I'm also going to take some Christmas red and highlight the car, and I'm just going to fill in the whole car with this stickles red. Now the nozzle is kind of chunky compared to the tiny size of this card. So sometimes what I do is I just get the image loaded up with some stickles, and then I'll take the fine tip of my stylus there and just spread it out. You could use a pin or one of your little piercing tools or whatever you have, but I just usually grab my ball tip stylus and spread that out nicely so I don't have to worry about trying to do it with the clunky nozzle on the stickles bottle. We have a few more projects and still shots over at the Classroom blog featuring these little tiny stamps, and I hope they inspire you to give them a try. All the supplies are available at ellenhutson.com, and thanks for watching.